Thank you for tuning in to watch our Invest Houston Leadership Summit. You're about to watch panel number 1, Inspiring the Next Generation, how Houston's K-12 system is cultivating future innovators. Be sure to like and follow for more CEO insights from CAA. Enjoy. Education has proven to be a key sector in the growth of Houston, and the region's leaders are taking their role in preparing students to thrive in an ever-changing the ever-changing economy seriously. In this panel, our panelists will discuss how education not only develops the next generation of leaders, but also ensures Houston continues to lead the way in innovation. And so I'd like to kick off the first question to all of my panelists. We have a lot of people who are employing people and employing the next generation. And here we are sat with the leaders that are getting those people ready for the jobs of not just today, but the jobs of tomorrow. And so Houston has become a global hub for energy, healthcare, and technology, as we know. How is the K-12 system ensuring that students are not just prepared to enter these industries, but are inspired to shape the future evolution? And maybe what we can do is start from my left and move over this way.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. And thank you for having us here today to talk about public education.
Oh, and before you go, just if you could remind everyone your name and the school that you represent. Sorry.
You bet. Ken Gregorski, KDISD Superintendent. Been there 7 years. It's a great school district and appreciate that opportunity to be here. So how do we do all those things that you're talking about, and how do we do it well? And I think for Katie, it starts with some really strong core academic programs, lots of innovation, and a lot of work and innovation with career and technical education. So in Texas, we talk about a lot of kids getting career and college ready. And what does that look like? So in Katy, that looks like about 70% of our kids go directly into college and university. Another 30% go into the workforce. So how do we meet those diverse needs of all these kids who want these very different things? And what does that look like to prepare them for the future? So Katy offers about 40 different career pathways, and our kids get to choose those things. And what does career and tech look like for today's modern kid? Many of you, if you're my age or you think about it, the old days of what we call vocational education. And by the way, we don't use that term anymore in public ed. It's career and technology education because it's so much more than what we might remember career and tech to be. We still have programs like auto tech or construction trades or cosmetology. Those are all important fields and we teach those things, but we've innovated way past that. And we have things in the medical field like health science, EMT, pharmacy, and we have engineering, and we have Cisco network systems, and we have digital and audio, and we have engineering. So we have all of those things as well to get these kids prepared for, and that's an important part of what these kids do, is be in career and tech and be ready for the jobs that are waiting for them after. And we've got to constantly innovate when it comes to that, because we have so many kids that want different things. But that's how we're kind of doing our part in career and tech.
Absolutely. Rebecca?
Thank you. In Dickinson, I'm Dr. Rebecca Brown, Dickinson ISD, Go Gators. In case you didn't know, we're going to our second round of playoffs this Friday night. So again, Go Gators.
Congratulations.
Anyway, okay, that was just a little plug. Dickinson ISD, we have over 72% at-risk students. Our goal in Dickinson, as my colleague has just said, is to ensure that our students have a plan. And so it starts early. We don't wait for them once they attend our high school in 9th grade for 4 years. We start when they are in elementary school. We start instilling in our students early as a Gator that what's next? What's your plan after high school? So it sounds like it's a long ways away, 13 or 12 years, but within those 13 or 12 years, our schools are very intentional in integrating STEM instruction in all of our classrooms, as well as having choices for our students. As Ken said, we, in all of our ISDs, ensure that we not are just looking at our four-year universities, but we're talking about our technical, we're talking about students and their choices. So athletics obviously is one, fine arts, performing arts. We have one of the strongest fine arts, performing arts in DISD, but also we ensure the academics in terms of when you get to 9th grade, what's your path and where you want to go. And our schools does such a great job at supporting our kids and helping to find their passion. Because as we all know, once you get older, your passion is what grows and makes you the great leader you are. So In DISD, every Gator is a leader, and we continue that through 12th grade as they walk on the stage.
Great. Randall.
Randall O'Brien, Goose Creek CISD Superintendent. We're on the east side of Houston, and we represent about 100,000 people in our community, 24,000 students, and I would say that the key towards our success as a school district is student engagement. And we determine what that is. My colleagues have talked about college and career readiness, and we can start that in kindergarten or even pre-K by preparing them with the skills that they'll need. Our faculty are phenomenal, and that's the key, is finding high-quality instruction by our instructors, but finding out what it is our students want, what their desires are, and then they'll be more likely to be engaged. And we'll talk a little bit more about that with the technology component of that, how to engage them with technology. But primarily it's finding out what they want to do in life. Not every kid is college bound, but every kid hopefully will have a career one day. So we're going to have them prepared for college and career ready. Over the last decade, we've established something called the Career Academies of Goose Creek. And those academies align with pathways. And we listen to our students, we listen to their families, their parents to create those pathways. And then we invited about 100 people into the room, our business partners. And we said, what do our students need to have to be successful in your business? And those are the connections that you have to make. It's foundational education that we're here to provide, but it's making the connections for the child about who they will become as an adult one day and what their role will be in this life. So that's the success that we've had primarily, is just tearing down barriers and creating opportunities for students to succeed at the next level. Dual credit, pathways, certifications, those 10 career academies allow us to have a child receive a career certification, level 1, 2, or 3. That means they won't be working a minimum wage job. They'll start out making 3 or 4 times the minimum wage with their very first job out of high school. And we've had students come back sharing with us going into industry based upon the path that they chose, making 6 figures at 20 years of age. So it's about partnering with the community, finding out what the needs of our families are, and then finding out what our business partners need as well.
And Walter?
Thank you. Good morning, and certainly it's a pleasure to be here. If this was the STAR exam and you were all taking it right now, I would tell you to choose D, all of the above, because everything that my colleagues have said is what we're all doing, because we're all competing for the same students every day. But I'm Walter Jackson, the superintendent of LaPorte ISD, located on East Houston side, a small bedroom community with a very fine school district. But I'm from the old school. One of the things that we go at when we start talking about innovation and STEM is I still strongly believe in making certain that we select and hire and nurture teachers, because teachers are going to be phenomenal. Teachers, by the way, are going to be the people that inspire our children to aspire to these roles. And so we are really big on making sure we get the right teachers in the right spaces on the buses. We've all read Good to Great, and making sure that those young teachers are inspiring our students. LaPorte happens to be sit right smack in the middle of one of the largest petrochemical and industry platforms in the nation, actually. We're very small, but we're surrounded by more than $17 billion worth of industry. So I meet regularly with plant managers, asking them just what my colleague just said. What is it that you're looking for? Because you're correct, Randy. Every kid is not on their way to Rice or UT or A&M, and that's okay. We are absolutely preparing our students for Rice, UT, and Harvard even. But there are many of our students that will graduate and walk right into those plants and can demand an 80 and 90 and even a 6-figure salary straight out of high school with some industry-based certifications that they learn through our STEM program. We have a partnership with San Jacinto College. We also, just 4 years ago, we developed a program with the University of Houston Clear Lake where our GT students and many of our 5th and 6th graders are now being taught by college professors at the University of Houston Clear Lake once a month. And so we're teaching our young children that college-going culture about STEM and CTE and robotics and AI now. I mean, we talk about AI every day now. And what does that look like in the future? And what is it that you aspire to be so that we can support those youngsters in their educational attainment?
Excellent. When I think of innovation, I think of at the crux of it is creativity. What strategies, and this is a question to each panelist, what strategies are schools in Houston using to create learning environments that encourage creativity, problem solving, and entrepreneurial thinking from an early age, particularly, as you just mentioned, AI becomes ever more present? And Walter, do you want to start?
Sure. So, 6 years ago, I've been in LaPorte ISD now as superintendent for 6 years. And for those of you who don't know anything about the school business, that's a lifetime. And so 6 years ago, we developed STEM academies at all of our elementary schools. We have 7 elementary schools and 1 6th grade only campus, and we have STEM academies. And our focus is really on building those small communities of learners, ensuring that they have hands-on opportunities daily with the manipulatives, because we're really trying to rewire their brains. Now, we don't really have to rewire their brains. The students are coming to us with a laptop and a tablet in their hands, but our goal is to ensure that the school is now up to date on the things that students are doing on their own. And so now, teachers and educators, it's our job to kind of stay maybe 2 steps ahead of those youngsters. So we're doing that through our STEM academies, our robotics classrooms, making certain that our calculus and all of those students that are on their way to the universities are having those opportunities to interact with brilliant minds, not just their teachers, but other guests from outside of industry to come out and really work with our students so that they can have hands-on opportunities on what it means to really delve into those careers.
Absolutely. Randall?
Well, because I know my colleagues will probably talk about the high school students' pathways, I'm going to talk about pre-K just for a minute to talk about how we connect. In our pre-K programs, the early learning academies that we have 16 classrooms that are thematic in design. And the cool thing about each classroom, it may be, for example, something space related, something safari related. It may be the Wetlands Center. It may be any number of things that represent the world we live in. And so rather than loading up 400 or 500 4-year-olds on a bus and taking them somewhere, we invite our community members, our CEOs of the plant to come, our fire chief to come, our mayor to come to speak to 4-year-olds in that thematic setting that represents each of those business partners across our community. And so they come and talk about the career pathway, they talk about the benefits of their life passion, and it really, you can see the lights going off on those 4-year-olds, believe it or not. And in this thematic unit, our children are provided a vocabulary that they wouldn't get normally in a basic introductory to education setting. They're hearing things. I'm hearing a student walk up to me and saying, Dr. O'Brien, it was minuscule. It was minuscule. Yeah, that's 6th grade, I think. So to have those 4-year-olds be introduced to vocabulary of adults at a very early age, and then to have them even thinking about, I want to be a veterinarian, to be thinking about those things at a very early age. And then by junior high, they might have selected their career pathway, and we've got that all mapped out for them with our course curriculum guide. So thank you.
So again, piggyback on my colleagues, but I would also say with creativity, it starts young. It starts with us in Dickinson ISD and other districts around us in ensuring that students have other options. We are really big on performing in fine arts, our band program, our theater program, because kids have other avenues of not just the academic side for them to be successful. Obviously, as well, athletics is important in our district also. But I think when they come to Gator Nation, starting as a pre-K all the way up, every school of ours, the mascot is the Gator. So we instill in them from young to old that they leave, graduate as a Gator. But with that, that creativity starts young. Our teachers, in terms of, we have to prepare for the state testing STAR, but that is not the end all, do all for our school districts. We know that that's just one sum of achievement for a child. The other sum of achievement is within the whole grade level, within the year in terms of progress. We measure progress every 3 to 9 weeks. So we do not wait to the end of the year and wait for a STAR test. So our goal is intentional planning, intentional curriculum, intentional instruction that not only ignites creativity with our students, but is also with rigor, because we know, as you all know, in industries, they have to leave and they have to be able to be supportive and part of society. So that creativity starts very young and it continues throughout until they graduate on the stage.
And Ken?
Yeah, when you go last, it's hard to top all of that, but I'll say this, it all starts with a super effective teacher in the classroom, and that's what we focus on in KDISD. How can we grow more teachers? And by the way, we're short teachers in Texas, so anybody who wants a job, let me know. You can come up to me afterwards. I'd love to have you guys. But we put effective teachers in the classroom. We get them working with other teachers to create engaging lessons, and that's how we get kids thinking and learning all the time. And it's hard to do that, but I will give a plug to our teachers and our principals in KDISD. We are the #1 school district in the Houston area for 5 years straight, and number 10 in the state of Texas with over 1,000 school districts. That's not easy to do, so it takes really strong, creative, good educators in our schools to do that. You mentioned the AI, which is both exciting and frightening. But we are leveraging that. We're looking at building a framework in KDISD, and how do we balance that? What does AI mean for a teacher with teaching and learning? And what are we going to have to train our teachers to be able to do to use AI effectively and leverage it in the classroom to really grow these kids? On the flip side, what do you do with students? You know what I mean? How do you convince students and train them up to not use AI for shortcuts, to not use it to cheat or not get out of doing the learning, and you train them up to say, hey, let's use AI responsibly to grow your education, to show where there are gaps in your education and where you can truly learn something. For example, how do you use AI with kids to do some kind of inquiry-based learning or some kind of Socratic method of learning to problem solve and really get a kid learning the material that way? So that's what we're focused on in KD when it comes to AI.
Absolutely. And let's drill down a little bit, and I'll start with Rebecca. The region's economy is driven by industries like energy, medicine, and aerospace. How is Dickinson ISD aligning academic programs and partnerships to reflect these local strengths while preparing students for the jobs of the future?
Thanks for that question, Abby. In Dickinson ISD, we are highly committed to aligning our academic programs and our partnerships with our economic industries here in this room, for example, from advanced manufacturing to medicine, to energy, to technology, to aerospace. And so how do we do that is we start when we're looking at our career pathways, we are very strategic in what our students' needs are. So we're not only reflecting what are the immediate job task force needs now, but we're looking beyond into the future of what it looks like in the future for our students. And so we are super excited. August of 2026, we're opening a brand new CTE building, a Career Technical Education building. And once again, we are focused on pathways that are the high needs, high demands in our area. We're focused on health science. Last year, we were the first school district in the state of Texas to have the radiology technology pathway for our students. We're also focused on aviation, also cybersecurity, AI, technology. So those are areas, engineering, but not only that, like we said, the trades, HVAC, plumbing, electrical, welding. Those are also areas that we're looking at for our students and ensuring that the next 5-10 years, these are the jobs and these are the demands that you all in industry need from our students. So again, as my colleagues have said, we work closely with our partnerships. We meet with them, we talk with them. We're right by the coast. Dickinson ISD is right by on the way to Galveston, so on the south side. And so with all that's happening on the coast, We also ensure that our pathways meet the needs of our students every day. We have to do that. That's our job. So as servant leaders, every one of us in this sitting on this panel, we know that our jobs are based on our students' success. And the student success is not just the end of the year STAR testing. The student success is after graduation. How are they productive citizens in our society, in our city? And so we ensure that that is intentional planning from pre-K all the way up to 12th grade to make sure that happens.
Excellent. And Ken, how is Katy ISD ensuring that all students, regardless of zip code or socioeconomic status, have equal opportunities to participate in STEM, robotics, and other innovation-focused programs?
Yeah, that's a great question. And when you think about trying to equalize something, we're a school district of 97,000 kids and 80 campuses. And how do you make sure you're, with all of that diversity and every student need that's in there, that every kid is getting everything they need equally? And I could probably talk about a lot of things, but I'm gonna focus on technology because I think that's the wave of the future and it's a big part of what we do in Katy. So think about this. We learned a lot of lessons from COVID. We sent kids home with nothing, and kids were at home trying to learn online. You had kids with no computer at home. You had kids who, 2, 3, 4 kids sharing one home computer, some kids trying to learn on a phone. And when they all came back, we were like, okay, we've got to fix this. So we put a bond committee together in 2023, and we said, we're going to go to 1-to-1. We're going to equalize this, and we're going to standardize this for every 3rd through 12th grader in Katy ISD. And we're going to put them on a Chromebook, and we're going to give them the same standard platform. And we're going to tell that kid to take that Chromebook home. We're going to tell them to take it to school. We're going to tell them to own it for the next 5 years, take it home in the summer, and we're going to equalize that learning in Katy ISD with technology. Then imagine what we did with our Katy Cloud, with our apps. So imagine a kid in elementary school opens up their Chromebook every day at home or at school, and all the apps populate for elementary. Everything they will need by grade level is right there on a touch screen. Then you turn around, we do the same thing for junior high and high school. So all these kids are standardized in their education of everything they get delivered right there to that Chromebook. Now the Chromebook is just one piece of the puzzle. You need that good effective teaching in the classroom, but that does really equalize and standardize it for our kids that they're able to do that. And then think about technology and the wave of the future, how that goes. If a kid has a real-time need or we notice a district need, we can create an app, we can use our teaching and learning teams, and we can create technology, and we can push that out overnight to every kid's Chromebook, and it just shows up the next day, and our teachers have it, and our kids have it. Those kids are ready to learn on that in real time. So that's one way we're trying to standardize that and equalize it in Katy ISD.
Excellent. And Walter, talent development begins with teachers. How are you supporting educators in adopting innovative teaching practices and fostering a mindset of continuous improvement and experimentation in the classroom?
In short, teacher training, professional learning communities, partnering with, having teachers partner with each other. But I'll go further. You talked earlier with another colleague today about the medical industry, the biotech industry. Each of those industries require 6, 7, sometimes even 8 years of training before they become a true professional, or certainly a master professional. For those that are going to medical school, it takes 8 to 10 years to become a medical doctor. But yet we place a teacher in a college classroom, and in 4 years we give them our most prized possession, which is our students in America. Nothing wrong with that, but there must be ongoing training, professional collaboration, professional learning networks, and constant feedback on how to do those things. Then we must allow for some professional autonomy in allowing the teacher to learn how to become the master teacher, because there's an art and a science to working with young people. There's just not the science of teaching, there's an art to that. To learn how to play a Stradivarius violin may take you 25 years to do that. I was a piano major in college. It took me a very long time to get to that level of mastery. So all I'm trying to say is we need to make certain that we are investing in our young teachers and not just paying them a good salary when they start in our schools, but also ensuring that we figure out ways to pay for them to go back and learn and even earn master's and doctoral degrees so that we can feel like we have masters in every classroom, because to every parent's child, that is the most important thing in their lives. And I say all the time in our school district, kids get one time to be in school. And so that teacher in kindergarten all the way through 12th grade, that one teacher is their one time. And I speak about that so passionately because if we don't nurture and focus on nurturing the individual that is working with our most prized possession, all the innovation, all the AI, all of the things that we want to do is not going to happen and be sustainable without a wonderful and highly qualified teaching force. And so I'll leave it at, let's focus on paying our teachers, nurturing our teachers, training our teachers, and loving on our teachers, and lastly, respecting them. Because when we do that, we have taken care of the future of this great state and of this great country. And that's where y'all clap right there.
Great point indeed. Randall, technology integration has accelerated since the pandemic. What lessons has your district learned about digital transformation, and how are you continuing to leverage technology to personalize learning and expand access?
Ken's already answered that. No, I'm sorry. And Walter will be playing the piano in the lobby following this for tips. I'm sorry, Abby. How do we leverage technology moving forward? I would say I've been blessed to be in this business for 34 years, and it's not a job, it's a career, it's a passion that we have. Everyone on this stage is doing it to make a difference in the life of a child. In regards to technology, I think everyone in this room can think back to your education as a child. Do you remember computers? Mm-hmm. Do you remember? But did you have master teachers? You know, that teacher that could take 24 kids in a classroom and 4 walls and deliver you to another place? That is what a master teacher does. In my opinion, what technology does is increase that exponentially. A first-year teacher can deliver sometimes the quality of an expert teacher through technology. I'll give you a few examples. A decade ago, we were looking at bandwidth. You know, our computers might blink out or something if we didn't have enough modems up and down the buildings, the hallways. And today, we were blessed. If anything, a silver lining of a global pandemic is while we had a one-to-one technology plan in place as a school district, knowing that technology was the future, the pandemic, instead of a 5-year plan, it became an overnight plan. And we had, within 3 days, we had technology in every child's hands. Before the schools opened up, the parents were driving through our elementaries, junior highs, and high school campuses to pick up their child's technology component. Our teachers were receiving training on how to give video instruction. So technology, for the teachers that might have said, I'm going to retire before I do technology, every senior teacher became a technology expert overnight during that period of time. So it has been thrust upon us, and I call that a silver lining because it made us think in new ways and new creative ways. Ken did talk about AI, and let me just give you an example. Our higher ed partners were very privy to AI, and they were privy of it to the possibility of a student cheating and possibly, you know, using it in a wrong way. And so we learned from our higher ed partners ways to monitor that and ensure that that doesn't happen at the student level. But then we, in K-12, we flipped that and said, what if we used AI for a teacher, even a master teacher, that may take 6 to 8 weeks to identify a student's weakness, their needs, where they need remediation or a little bit of extra help in this area, that it can happen instantaneously with the technology we have today. It can flash up on the Promethean board or the screen up on the wall. They can do a fun game, and that fun game that they're playing with technology is learning whether or not they have the core fundamental skills to move forward to the next chapter, the next lesson. And it is absolutely a fun thing that kids are playing, and all of a sudden, we know based upon the color code of the answers what that child's needs are, and it allows the teacher who's providing the instruction to disaggregate which kids need more help. So we flipped the script on that. We do know that students will take advantage if they have the opportunity to do so. We monitor that, we look at that, we prevent that in every way possible, but we're also using it for our benefit. How can we dissect the needs of our children? So technology has really grown over the last decade or two, during my tenure specifically, but I see it as continuing to enhance the quality of instruction that we deliver to the students, and our parents are sometimes blown away once they get to, we don't call them open house, we call them parent university. They come up and learn about what the children are learning on our campuses. So I think I could talk forever, but I'll wrap it up right there, Abby. Thank you.
And it looks like we've come to time. I could ask these the people on my panel more questions because I'm just so interested in the conversation that we're having, but we'll have to stop it for now. Let's give panel one a big round of applause. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.